So it's been an interesting couple of years. We didn't say much about it last year, and if you had the pleasure of being at Jadu, anyone here at Jadu Academy last year in Birmingham? Oh, quite a few of you. Well, you'll know that experimentation was really sort of the centre theme for what we were talking about, and we'll cover some of that today. But I'd also like to sort of round that journey off with some of the outcomes. And so I have to tell you, next year will be Jadu's 25th year, 25 years. I did used to have long hair when I started this company, but it's been an incredible journey. And I have to tell you that this year, it feels like it did when we first started up. And we're so happy to be able to tell you some things today, some fundamental changes that are happening, not just for you and the products and services that you use from Jadu, but also, and most importantly for your users, for your customers, for members of the public, for your students, and the wider community around Jadu. And so it is a pivotal moment, as we start to embrace what artificial intelligence and large language models have to offer for technology providers. So yeah, super excited, slightly nervous because we've got new stuff. But like with everything, and like with every technology that we've ever built and shipped, it's always shaped by user needs. And so we'd like to talk to you today about what technology is coming, what is already here, and what we're doing to make sure that we're always inclusive of users. So welcome, everyone. I'd like to start off with just a question. Don't feel nervous, and please respond. And the first to shout might get a little prize later. What is the most valuable public data that your organization has to offer? It's such an easy question, such an easy answer that it's actually hard. Anyone? Anyone dare to guess? It's your website. And because so much care goes into content design and user experience, we always think that human beings will consume that content and go through those user journeys. But as I said, the world has shifted, and now we could be designing content for other reasons. And for everything, every piece of content that you write, all the effort that you put into making that content accessible, and we know that you are as obsessed about accessibility as we are, there is now a major business benefit for all that work you've done, and so we're going to show you some examples of why today. I'd also like to say a huge thank you to our partners in North America who are kind of spreading the Jadu word, I suppose, this viral idea that accessibility not only is the right thing to do and a legal requirement, but also is a major enabler for artificial intelligence, has permeated across our partners. But they are bringing back massive amounts of innovation, not just in creativity, ideas, and functionality, but also in deep thought and thinking about how we can apply this new technology or this matured AI technology into solving everyday problems. So I'm going to gaze into my crystal ball, and we're going to have a look at what is in the short and medium term future. And I suppose everything has changed, right? I mean, the way we use the internet has changed. The way we use computers has changed. And I don't know if any of you have noticed the way people search using their devices, or if any of you do this. I certainly do it because I can't type. And in fact, I'm getting increasingly worse at typing on a device, which is why my emails are always so full of typos. But I use voice dictation now because it's getting incrementally smarter and better. About 80% right now, I think, with voice dictation. Anyone here use voice dictation a lot? Okay, well, I've seen that my children are using it as the de facto way to interface with their devices. And that is another fundamental shift, and the technology is keeping pace with that. So it's all about voice. The other thing that has fundamentally changed is search. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, when you go to Google or go to Bing and you type in a search term, What generally happens now is it unfurls with an answer. And that's either using Gemini or Copilot. Instead of delivering you results, it's delivering you answers. And that is a fundamental change to the way the internet is working and will work in the future. Everything will change. So no longer are you going to be rifling through results to find the right answer. You're just going to be served the right answer. So in context of Jadu, we've been developing our platform for, as I say, next year it'll be 25 years. And we've been looking, over the past 2 years, we've been looking at ways that we can bake in this new sort of matured artificial intelligence. And large language models have reached ubiquity, right? So generally speaking, whoever you're talking to will understand what ChatGPT is. They may not be frequent users, or they may be habitual users. I use it every single day for all kinds of things, including, recipes and business strategies, and the entire spectrum of decision-making is supported, by artificial intelligence, not just for me, but for leaders all around the world. And so what kind of technology company would we be if we didn't think about how this is going to enable you to do things better, do things faster, do things more elegantly, improve content design, understand user need, and deliver digital services 24 hours a day in any language and with deep understanding of your organizations. So Jadu Central, all of you will know and understand Jadu Central. You're probably all using it. Web content management, multi-site deployment. We actually don't know how many websites are powered by Jadu at the moment. Thousands, we think, across the world. Enterprise forms, there are tens of thousands forms published on the Jadu platform, serving millions of users every single day. Millions of payments and bookings get made regularly through the Jadu Central platform, and that is the enabling technology, right? That is the foundation of creating digital services. And then you've got Jadu Connect, which in the shortest possible time has become the market leader in public self-service in the UK. Is growing fast in the US now as well, and we've kind of planted the flag for Jadu Connect in Australia. And again, thousands and thousands of notifications and automations get triggered every single day. And so users all around the world are able to track their service requests from in the same way you would track an Amazon parcel to the end of your driveway. We're able to track service requests and notify people about what's happening. And of course, that's all that people really need when they're interfacing with an organization. They just need to know you care. And then, of course, this major shift, in how we will leverage technology in Agent X, and that's what this morning's keynote is about. So I'm happy to show you some things about how we're going to really shift. So Jadu has become this digital layer, and if you were at Jadu Academy last year, you'll know we did a deep dive on what this framework is. It's a simple framework to help you become AI ready, to help your organizations shift from the traditional request-based business to a proactive service delivery organization that is able to deliver answers in real time and in any language. So all of us will understand the legacy of back office, the nightmare of legacy data systems in the back office, but also modern systems that we're using to power the customer experience. All of that is also being augmented by AI right now. And any vendor of those back office systems who isn't baking in this technology will quickly find themselves losing market share because it's now becoming a requirement in the public sector. Of course, you have this middle element as well. You have the customer element. And this is where Jadu lives. This is where no-code and low-code applications live. And no code has become the mantra for Jadu now. We want to be able to create applications where you don't have to write a line of code. If you do write a line of code, use Claude, right? Use Claude, it will happen much faster. So if you want to build a widget, prototype it in Claude first, deploy it to your Jadu UAT system and test it, and I guarantee you'll be amazed, at the results. Learn how to use the tools. And of course, we are augmenting the Jadu platform with large language models and AI, and you'll see some of that today as well. And then the most important element, the product element. These are the things that you in this room build to enhance your user experience for your customers. And so it kind of boils down to three things, really. Accessibility. Jadu is on a mission to become the world's most accessible digital platform. And that's meaningful for you because we hope you don't have to think too much about that challenge. You being your users, of course, because you don't have time to spend day in, day out training them, educating them. They just need to be able to come in, publish, send for approval, and go. Interoperability, hard word to say, but massively important for you in the jobs that you do. And the one sort of principle that will drive change in your organizations and should drive procurement in all of your systems as well. And so things to be able to talk to each other in the back end to the front end are so important now because it may not be human beings that are serving customers at 2 a.m., in Spanish. And so agents will need these sort of underlying principles in place to be able to function. And of course, then all comes the important automation, because without automations, we can't have efficient organizations, and without efficient organizations, we aren't sustainable. And that has become particularly important in the public sector, whether it's education or government. That's become particularly important now because the challenges are so much greater. So search is dead. This is what we're all hearing, right? We talked about how Google is now starting to put Gemini into Google.com, and Bing has put Copilot into Bing.com. And actually, search has a bigger problem. And that is that people no longer want results, they want answers. Because the expectation is already set. So how do you solve that challenge? Well, we've started with Agent X Search. Now, many of you will already have seen Agent X Search because unlike any other product in the past, and this is Jadu's first agentic product, we wanted to show you before we shipped it, just so you could understand where we were going to. So this is no ta-da moment. Most of you will know this. If you haven't seen it yet, please talk to us and we'll do a one-to-one demo for you and your leadership as well. So I'm just going to play you a short video. Just most of you will have seen it, but some of you won't have. Please just enjoy this, just a couple of minutes.
Websites. Some are vast, endless rabbit holes of content. You just need to find that
one thing, right? That one task for the day. We navigate. Looking for signposts? Click.
Click, click. Maybe we get lucky, maybe we don't. We search.
But hey, we're not writing a paper on that one thing. We might chat.
If you have time to explain. And remain polite as you explain again.
Give up and call that number?
What if that one thing just came to you when you ask it? An AI-guided search.
No wandering, no guessing, no questions.
Just answers.
Introducing Agent X Search by Jadu. AI-powered search for business,
government, higher education, and enterprise of every kind.
Whatever the use case, it's got you. Let me show you.
Type your query or speak your question in any language to clearly find the answer. That one thing.
It doesn't just find information and show you a page it's on, or 5.
No, it understands the context of your question, pulls the right data from everywhere, and delivers a clear, concise answer.
No fluff, no filler.
Agent X Search works with any web CMS or portal technology, which becomes the AI training room and knowledge library.
So it knows exactly where to look and which rabbit holes hold the answers. It speaks your language.
matching your tone of voice,
remaining accessible,
and maintaining all standards.
The one thing we all want. Fewer support calls, smoother self-service,
and faster access to what truly matters.
Agent X Search by Jadu.
The right answer in your language.
So it's that one thing, that one task. I'm going to dare to do a quick demo now, if that's all right. First of all, let's go to a website. This isn't a UK website. Actually, I was in Phoenix, Arizona, presenting to a room very similar to this of government decision makers. And my job was to show what agentic search looks like. And the problem it solves. So this is the city of Phoenix. Now, this could be any major website. I'm not picking on Phoenix in specific, but they were in the room when I presented. So I thought, why not? So now this is a really sophisticated website. They put as much effort into producing this website as you put into producing yours. Let's think about that idea that people aren't using keywords anymore, right? They're using natural language to search. And that's another fundamental shift. So let's go for, I'd like to make a FOI request. Okay, so that's a perfectly reasonable search term using natural language. What do you think is going to happen when I hit enter? What do you think will happen? Poor results? Worse than poor results? No results. And that's because even the most sophisticated search engines, Google Programmable Search, Cluedo, or any other major search engine, at the moment can't handle that natural language and doesn't understand my intent. And that's the problem. We've shifted from a request-based internet to an intent-based internet. And that's the major shift. And that's why all of our jobs have changed. And that's why we need to reskill, retool to serve our customers with their new needs. Let's try that same search again, just so I don't have to keep retyping and making typos, because as I said before, I can't type. Let's go to Lichfield District Council. Now, this is available as private beta. So there's a QR code knocking, allegedly, there's a QR code knocking around where if you scan it on your phone, you'll be given one-time access. It will be live soon, but we're deep in test and resolve with Lichfield, who have gone first. And they're over there on the left, so say hello to them. Okay, I'm going to ask the same question, but this time I'm going to use Agent X Search. Now, immediately, I've got a response. That one task right in front of me, so not below the copy, above the copy, because actually, that's my intent. I'm not necessarily interested in reading the copy, but this is beautifully written copy down here, and I can see the sources of that copy as well, if I want to. Okay, that's cool, right? That's cool. One search, one result, and it's the right answer. But what about if I wanted to ask? Let's try that. I'd like to make an FOI request. Okay, so Agent X Search has memorized all 8,500 pages of content on lichfield.gov.uk and again is able to instantly answer my question. So there's my task, my intent, and there is my content. But what if English wasn't my first spoken language, right? Which is common in many areas of the country now. So I'm just going to take that FOI request. In fact, look, I'll try something a little different. I'll go over to Wasatch County in Utah, and I'll ask the same question there. But this time, I'm going to go to Google Translate, and this is one of the most sophisticated and useful tools that Google have ever made, isn't it, really? Does anyone here speak a second language? What do you speak? French and Spanish. Okay, so I'm just going to copy that. Let's go for Spanish, and you can check me for quality. You can be my QA engineer for the day. How's that? Yeah? Okay. Don't hold back. I'm going to go back to Utah. I'm going to ask a question in Spanish, okay? So I'm going to search for that. I won't attempt to speak Spanish, because that would just be embarrassing, and this is being recorded. Okay, so it's now thinking. Now, Agent X Search is fluent in over 70 languages, and even some that you'd never think it would be able to understand. And so what I get back is a response. The task first, because that's my intent, and then detailed knowledge of what I need to do to resolve FOI requests at Wasatch County.
Para realizar una solicitud de acceso a la información, FOI, en Wasatch County, debe contactar a la oficina del secretario auditor. Puede enviar su solicitud por correo electrónico, teléfono o fax, o acudir en persona durante...
Okay, I'm running out of time, so what do you think? Yeah? You're nodding and smiling, and then you said perfect. Just... Okay, thank you. So Agent X Search is a new paradigm in how we... let me skip to the next slide so we're not watching a video again. So long live answers, right? Long live the intent-based web. But does that mean it's the end of websites? I was on Agent X demos with a couple of chief executives recently, and they both said separately, why do I need a website? And of course, Jadu's in the business of making websites. You know, we're not trying to eat our own lunch here, because there is a really useful application for agents on the web. So this idea of the intent-based web isn't just about search. It's fundamentally in the fabric of websites. Let's take an example in higher education. I don't know if they're in the room today, but there is a really fantastic university in the UK that's world-leading. Their website is probably one of the best HE websites in the world. I've anonymized this to save the innocent. But if you look at this experience, you know, the one thing that universities and colleges must get right is the course finder, because the one thing that they are looking for is prospective students. It's student recruitment, which is the basis of the business model of a HE institution. In the UK, in the US, across the world, that is the one thing they need to sustain themselves. So that's their business, right? It's education, but they need to attract students. And normally when you come to a course finder, it will say, well, what course are you looking for? And it will generally be a keyword search powered by Google or some custom scripted thing on using Lucene Solar or something like that. And they will spend days and weeks every year refining and building the course finder. You know, huge amounts of cost get sunk in development time just to try and get the course finder right. And at the end of the day, it's a search of a directory of courses. What about if we changed the relationship and made it intent-based? So instead of saying, what do you want to be? We say, instead of saying, what are you looking for? We say, what do you want to be? Right? And so I'll answer, I want to become a doctor. And of course then unfurls a really beautifully written reason why this is the best institution in the world to come to if you want to study the sciences. But then it asks me a question and it says, well, what kind of doctor do you want to be? Do you want to be a doctor of zoology? Do you want to be a doctor of pharmacology? Do you want to be a doctor of medical science? And it offers you that not as a question, but as a user journey. So when I click that I want to be a doctor of pharmacology, what I'm actually doing by clicking is having a conversation with an LLM in the background. And that's now crafting, that agent is now crafting my content design experience. And so what it's doing then is it's building me, as I'm having a conversation and making choices, it's building me an a la carte menu of the courses that need to go into my degree. And of course, at the end of that beautiful piece of written text and those courses down the left-hand side is an Apply Now button. And the moment the user clicks the Apply Now button, we all know that the conversion rate significantly ramps up. And then it's just a user journey, a service design process to get them through the application process and click submit. And they've started their journey with the institution. That entire experience could be in Mandarin or in Spanish or Korean. right? International students, which is the premier, most expensive sort of cohort of students in an institution. So that's how agents are changing the fabric of the web. And I just want to say a big high five to Lichfield Council, say hello again, and Medway Council also, right next to them. Over there, you're not doing your little wave that you, oh, there you go. First adopters, and just so you know, Jadu has an early adopter framework. It's only available until September 30th, so please speak to your account manager, because the technology is, if you're willing to roll your sleeves up and become an early cohort of users, help us shape the product, then there is a special offer until September 30th. So we're all about the intent-based web now, and that's the direction of travel for Jadu. And content design is such a massively important underpinning enabler for those kind of experiences, because poorly written content will lead to a poorly executed agentic experience. Now, an agent is intelligent, so even the worst written content, it will rewrite for you. But if you get something wrong, it's going to get it wrong because you're giving it false information and it's garbage in, garbage out. So how can you make, and there is a direct correlation between accessibility and the quality of output from an LLM. So how can you make things more accessible? Well, we've invested. So last year we unveiled Jadu Labs. We've now evolved that and shipped it as a product. It's now called Jadu Assist. And Paul is going to do a demo for us. Paul, I'm going to hand over to you now, if that's all right.
Thank you very much.
Sorry for the...
I knew you were going to overrun. I should have put money on it. Hi, I'm Paul. If you were here last year, you'll have heard about Jadu Labs. As Suraj just said, we have taken that product. It's proved quite popular. People love it. I'm sure there's a few people in the room who have stated that they can't imagine life without it now. Let's switch. We have taken the time this year to take Labs and re-engineer it. We are building it on a modern framework which allows us to take Jadu Assist and spread it out across our engineering team to allow us to develop further and have multiple teams contributing different features. This will also allow us to improve the browser support. I know that we have a few feature requests asking for Firefox in particular, a couple asking for Opera for some reason, but by re-engineering and re-releasing it in the store, we will be able to increase that browser support for you. Jadu Assist provides us a channel to release some AI agents, some that you may have already used if you use Content Assist. My colleague James will be up later today to talk about a new agent that will be coming in Assist called Accessibility Assist. I'm not going to steal his thunder. You can wait to hear more about that. But one of the key features that you can use today is Content Assist, which provides multiple curated prompts that allow you to take content from Jadu Central, from Jadu Connect, those content areas, whether it's a simple text box or a rich content editor, and run that through these prompts and improve and refine your content. Again, making sure that it is accessible, making sure that it makes sense, essentially looking for typos, and analyzing the tone. We've had some great feedback from the customers who have used this over the past year. In particular, I won't name, but a specific customer of ours who is neurodivergent and uses Content Assist heavily to sense check their own writing to make sure that the tone of voice that they're using, whether it's responding to support tickets on Connect or just writing content for the web, makes sense and is free of errors and flows beautifully without having to bother their co-workers all the time. So it gives them that freedom and that independence. This is a screenshot of the new design of Assist. The new name stands with our commitment to make this available to a much wider audience. Jadu Labs was originally, we thought it might be a tool for power users, but very quickly the demand for it has spread, and you were asking us, how do we make this available to any users of the software, whether they are very technical or whether they just use the software a couple of times a day, a month, a year, just to update content. So anyone can use Jadu Assist. it's available on the website to be installed. Visual workflow in Jadu Connect is another big feature that this is probably the one that I get the feedback the most about that people couldn't live without. It takes those complex workflows that you were able to build in Jadu Connect. It's fantastically configurable software, quite complex, and you're able to build pretty much anything you need. Visual workflow brings sense to that, and I'll show a quick demo of this in a second. This is a few of the comments that we've received. Visual workflow, there we go, there's a visual of it. We have made significant improvements over the past year. You have more control over your diagrams. You can split this view into column view if you are blessed with a lovely widescreen monitor, so that you can make your diagram look and feel what makes the most sense to you. You're able to switch to a top-down rendering view, and those settings, the previous version was only available in the Transitions tab. Now, whenever you are editing your workflow across where you can see these general, the statuses and transitions, your diagram is now available everywhere. So you can keep that mental model fresh. You can work with your colleagues. You can print these out as SVGs and really understand your workflows and make improvements. That's a split view. You can resize these panels as you need, as you see fit, and those settings persist. So you can really make it work for you. And the new address is live, jadu.net/assist. It will still take you to the Chrome Web Store and be called Labs. If you already have it installed, it will update as soon as we release, which we're hoping to be very soon. But feel free to get that link shared out across your colleagues, and we will be with you very soon with Jadu Assist. Thank you.
Should we let you get away with not doing a demo, Paul?
I think so.
Well, I've just had the username and password messaged to me, so...
Okay.
Should we let him get away with it, or what? What do you think?
I thought we were all friends. So let's show Content Assist very quickly first. I have a news article. I've got a couple of different content areas on this page. Hitting the Content Assist. I've already enabled this agent. So I hit my Content Assist trigger, and then I'm given my list of prompts that I can perform this action on. So this is a fairly simple text area. Let's check the tone of this one. And what that will do is take that content, run it through a specific prompt. I get an analysis at the top which explains what Content Assist thinks of this content. So yeah, improves clarity and readability. It's pretty good, but it gives a suggestion. And what we can take with this suggestion is instantly replace it in situ. We could go in and make tweaks here, and of course we can undo. Now, if we have a more complex content area, like this one, let's, what should we do? Let's enhance the writing. This will take a little longer. The more content that you have, the more it has to think about it. But the nice thing about Content Assist is with these rich text areas, you've put headings in there, lists, links, that will be maintained so that when you insert that, even if it's written large sections of it, if you've asked it to do so, it will still focus on the core message. If you have quotations, those will be maintained because they are key information, and those shouldn't be changed or rewritten because it's an explicit quote. There we go. So, visual workflow. We have many case types in this demo. Let's pick a nice size one. Where have we got? Service requests. So straight away, visual workflow is kicked into action as the page is loaded. It's taking that information and drawing that out into a beautiful diagram that makes sense. All of the statuses and the transitions and the forms are illustrated in their logical connections. And as I explained earlier, we can make this diagram larger. We can really get in close and see where we're going. If we hover over nodes, we can make sure we're able to see the logical connections. So even if you have quite complex diagrams, you're able to see where things are connected and where they're routing to. And yeah, there we go. Of course.
Thank you very much, Paul. Thank you. Oh. So, like every great technology conference, I'm allowed to have my Steve Jobs moment. So what have we been working on, and what have we been so busy, and what are we writing code on right now? Well, I talked earlier about Agent X Search being our first agentic product, but we'd like to give you an early sneak preview on the next big development that is a fundamental shift for us as a company as we move forward into this age of agents. So I've got a little video. The product is called Agent X Factory, and if you can imagine a no-code environment where you can deploy multiple agents that do different things and have them team together, so you can orchestrate agents to do things like when someone searches for something, you can respond with an answer and understand their intent. You can then ask a few questions and in the background create a form and fill that form in and submit that data. Maybe after the user has logged into their account, maybe they get a personal assistant that is aware of their content and information. How powerful and life-changing would that be for your users? So let's see how we will be able to deliver that in the next months and in the years to come. Quick video, and then I think we might risk a demo. What are you feeling, if you can remember your password, Paul? My explosion wasn't quite loud enough there, so a bit weak. Health and safety.
AI agents, making decisions and taking action.
Elevating us and our systems to efficiently and accurately help others. Improve customer experience, increase efficiency, reduce workloads, simplify the complex with smart self-service tools.
We need a fast, simple way to manage that, to build smart tools and agents without technical hassle. Not tomorrow, but today.
Let me show you Agent X Factory, a platform that gives non-technical users the tools to easily create and launch smart AI agents that connect with popular AI models and data sources to build out the assistance we need. Agent X Search is one such agent. It can perform many roles, providing answers from any knowledge base.
From a broad site search to an in-depth dive on a specific subject, interacting with content to refine and summarize, as well as provide advice directly in the search interface.
Concise, useful answers. Let me show you around the factory. We have our created agents, which shows their type and status. Taking a look at one agent, we have live data reporting, total queries, satisfaction, and task completion, for example. We configure the agent here, including selecting the base model. Choose the personality we'd like our agent to respond in. Plus, specify where the agent gets its brains in the knowledge section.
Knowledge kits are the agent's specialist subjects. When someone asks your AI assistant a question, it looks through these kits to find the answer. This is not just a standard web search using keywords. Nothing like it.
The kit can contain specific web crawls, digital documents like PDFs, where a lot of detail is stored that isn't on the web. Or maybe a department gives you an urgent time-sensitive notice. Include other connected data sources like MCP servers. And of course, let's not forget your favorite flavor of AI by integrating with platforms like ChatGPT, Claude, Copilot, and Gemini.
We coach the agent on how it responds, whether to include top tasks as call to actions, for example. We can test the agent within the factory. Pose a query to check the response. Continue to ask questions until you're satisfied the agent is socially ready. Next, we follow the deployment steps, choosing which websites it will feature on, and we receive a code snippet that will put our new assistant to work.
Now here's a thing to really elevate. What if your digital agents didn't work in isolation, but as a swarm collaborating together? You've seen Agent X Search. Now imagine it teamed up with a My Account agent. A customer wants to know why their bin wasn't collected. The My Account agent knows who they are, where they live, and what type of collection is due. Agent X Search can use this knowledge to provide incredibly accurate and helpful answers.
Maybe the Jadu Connect agent joins the swarm, asking the customer if they'd like a case raising.
And how should we contact you?
Text message, email, or a message on WhatsApp, Telegram, or Blue Sky.
The magic is in the autonomy. Agents don't just follow instructions, they communicate, share context, and delegate between themselves. That's the power behind Agent X Factory.
Create a digital platform where smart self-service is always active, continuously learning, and ready to help.
Agent X Factory by Jadu.
I'm so excited about what the future has for us and how we build digital services. You know, it's a fundamental change. It's like when desktop publishing became ubiquitous. You know, we stopped using bits of lead in like wooden cases. That's a fundamental shift in how we manage digital. And I can't wait for the future to be real. Most of that future is real now. Jadu Assist you can download in the next few days. Agent X Search is available right now. And Agent X Factory is coming in the next weeks and months as we start to build out and start testing with our first customers. So that's it for me today, but please enjoy today. It's about innovation, about creativity, asking the right questions, and all of that will feed into the thought process, you know, that happens between now and the next academy. So I'd like to say thank you very much. I'd like to thank Paul as well for the demos, and enjoy the day. Thank you very much, everyone.